Good morning, all of you.
Sarshi,
So today we have
screen share
with
केली मी.
us, yeah, I'll share the screen. आता मी सुरू करतो session, sir. So good morning, all of you. Today we have with us Professor Amar Palankar for this fourth day of STTP on recent trends in information technology, and today we are going to have session on web application development using Python-based framework.
हाँ
So this will be an online session, and the expert for today's session is Professor Amar
ओके.
Palwankar. He is an
हाँ
assistant
सर दिसली
professor.
ना सर.
Yeah,
Share
yeah.
केली
The screen is
screen आता.
visible, and it is live also. So Professor Palwankar
हाँ
is from IT department, and he is
सर
going to
व्हिडिओ
start the session. Everything is live, sir. You can start
थोडा
now,
बंद
sir.
करू
You
का
are
मी
live.
जरा. मला वाटतंय my video is not required sir. Shall
Sir, your video you may pause. Screen rounding. Your camera you may pause.
okay sir.
Otherwise,
Right.
let it be.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it is. Yeah. Now you can
हाँ
go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead. Start the session, sir.
okay okay sir. Thank you very much sir. And I am clearly audible. हाँ yes, yes. Using Python-based framework, different can be used application. Day-to-day life, we can cross or we encounter lots of problems, and to solve these problems, we have a number of solutions. But these solutions can work only on a single machines, and to convert or to turn that applications, which is standalone applications, into the web applications, we have dozens of choices. But the but no, not the problem, but the learning curve. I mean, the time that is required to understand that the new frameworks to convert the standalone applications into the web applications is too much. So that's why we don't actually touch those frameworks to convert our standalone applications into the web applications. So the main motto of our today's session is to build the web applications, and having the web applications is very much beneficial to all of us. We all know that because it can be accessed from anywhere, and a number of persons or a number of client can access the applications if the server is supportive in terms of hardware. And to develop web applications, we have other frameworks too, but it takes time and the learning curve is high. Hence, we often becomes reluctant to understand this one. So to solve the day-to-day life problems, there is a Python language and which is very fast and very simple. So taking the benefits of Python programming language just to convert the standalone applications in the web application, so it takes a less time. And recently, there have been one framework introduced, which is open source and called as SteamLIT. This is the official website of the SteamLIT. All the code and all the components are available here. So since it's open source, it can be installed on Linux machines or it can be installed on Windows machines, provided you have the Python. So a single language is enough. Which single language? A Python single language is enough to make the client side, I mean the interfaces. At the same time, the same language can be used as a backend language that is able to talk to the databases, that is able to talk to the cloud, and etc. etc. So single language enough to make the client side as well as server side code. So that is one of the benefit. Hmm. And as per the official website, the statements are here. What they claim, it is a very fastest and very simplest way hmm, to develop the web applications. And these web applications can be used to deploy machine learning models or deep learning models. So this framework called as SteamLIT is very, very famous in these two domains, machine learning and deep learning, because it takes no time. to deploy your applications, and then the client or n number of client can take the benefit of your mm, uh, 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 deep learning model. Let me tell you one example. For example, you want to develop one application that will tell you who is the owner of the vehicle. So by just taking the snap of any vehicle of number plate, and what after you take a snap, the applications will automatically send the image to the server, and the server can be developed using a Python programming language or a language using the REST API. So that will keep waiting for a client request, and the moment it receives the image from the client side, it can convert or it can find out the numbers, and as per the database it has, it will fetch the owner of the vehicle and immediately tell you this is what the owner of the vehicle. Okay. So uh, so so to make this happen, what is required? You need one interface where you will be able to upload a image. Hmm? And when you upload image, that will processing will take place on the server side, and server will send a data in the form of JSON, and the client can read the data and can display the data. Okay. This is one of the applications, and other applications can also be there. For example, if you want to identify the objects in image, you can upload image and let pass the image to the server, and server will process the data and will send back what are the objects inside image. So you can train a model, and you can have the trained model on the server side, so it will be able to identify what are the objects in the image, or in the snap you have taken through your camera and uploaded on the server. Okay, there are lots of examples. So the main crux, main the of this framework, web-based framework called as SteamLIT. Okay, it takes no time to convert or develop the web application. I have few examples. I will share this example with you. What I did with this email ID, I will directly give a demo to you. So the first thing is that we need to get introduced with the interfaces, how to design the interfaces so that the input from the client can be collected, and thereafter the processing can take place by calling the definitions or by calling the classes or functions. Hmm, and everything will be in a single language. No client-side programming language, for example Angular or for example HTML and CSS. No, we need not to worry about all this one. We need not to worry about the JavaScript. The single Python programming language enough for client side, building the client side, that is the interfaces GUI part, as well as in case you want to do some processing, so Python code can be written there and you can call this Python code. So so let us move towards this the what client side development, that is the graphical user interfaces. Hmm. So I have few examples. I will not type the entire code here, I will just explain the code here. And as it takes no time to develop the web applications, so similarly it takes no time to install or to have the working environment, right? So what it needs a Python 3 plus and StreamLit module. Hmm? So to it requires only a single model called StreamLit, and once you have a Python on your local machines, then you can install the StreamLit with simple command called as Python 3 install and StreamLit. So let me increase the font as well. Hello. Okay, I hope I'm visible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, it is
So
visible.
it is very simple to install the StreamLit. Hmm? You install. Okay. You install using a simple. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah. Using a single command called as pip or pip3, and yes, and then you are good to go. Huh? So a single command is enough. It takes no time, right? So let me take you to the uh, Amazon Web Services. Yeah. Since I have some applications and I wanted you to access my web application, so I will just applications. Then therefore I have chosen a cloud to host the applications. So here I have chosen AWS cloud, where I will be explaining a code and then I will run the code. So same application can be accessible to as well. Yeah. So let me take you to the, I think, okay, the session have been inactive. So I have a Windows based here client utility called as putty. It can be used to access the or SSS server as well. Here SSS server is running on a cloud. What I did here, I have chosen a virtual machines and I have installed Ubuntu on that virtual machine. So this virtual machine exists or provided by the AWS cloud services. So I have already done that and it is running on a cloud. So just I'm just trying to access the terminal from my machine. So all the settings regarding the authentications and etc., all this been done. So here I am getting connected to the cloud. Yeah, I am now I am connected to the cloud. Let me increase the font of this as well. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. Here is I have got the terminal of Ubuntu, a machine which is running in the cloud. So I want to be a super user. So this is the command to become a super user because I want. Here I would like to. I mean, I want to install the certain packages. So to install the packages, you have to be a root user. So this is what I am the root user now, right? So I have some files here. So what we did, we have the we I mean we need to have the Python 3 plus, and thereafter we have to install. I mean that's this one pip3 install, and the name of the package that install install and streamlit streamlit. This is the name of the module, and with this single command, this will install the streamlit. It takes no time. I have already installed the streamlit, so the requirement is already satisfied. Yeah, so our environment is ready now. This is my file, and this file has taken .py extension Python file. So the code will be a pure Python code. Code will be a pure Python code, and that is why the file looks like this start.python file. So this file has what? Yeah, you need to first import the module called as streamlit. So what this application is doing? Okay, I will explain the code later. So let me run the code first, and after I show you the output of this program, then I will explain a code. So to run this application, the simple command streamlit run, and the name of the program start.py. Okay, let me run the program. Yeah. So this applications is been now running on cloud. So this can be accessed with this IP address. Okay, this can be accessed with this IP address. Let me open this one. Mhm. Yeah, it is. I have slow internet connection, therefore it is taking time. Otherwise, it takes no time to get display. Okay, here is my interface. This interface doing nothing. This is simply the taking the input from the user. After I explain the entire code, then we will go to the next problem. There and there we will collect the input from the user and do some processing, and we return the answer. Well, this is the interface. So here we need to collect the input from the user. So to collect the input from the user, we have the various ways, and and the StreamLit provides number of components. For example, the slider, the first component is called a slider. So yeah, I have used this all this one. Okay, I have used all these components to solve the real world problem. I will explain that example with you later. So this is doing nothing, instead displaying. Okay, in the background, nothing is being happen here. Okay, a slider, then it's yeah, the value 50. It is up to us how to use this input value collected from the client using this one. So you have the radio button. This is the slider. This is the radio button, and this is another important interface, and this will allow you to upload the files. So either you can directly drag and drop the file from local machines, or you can click the browse buttons and then you add the file. So what file, you can decide which kind of file you want the client should upload. You can decide that one, and how large the file should be. You can also limit the size of the file as well, because what we're discussing how to design the interfaces so that we can collect the input from the user, and later, based on the input the user has provided to us, we can then go ahead and we can do some processing. Okay, here you can upload the file, PDF file or Excel file or any other file, right? hmm and yeah, this is the checkbox. You can click that one or untick that one. So this is doing something. This is making the interface interactive after selections or deselections. Mm, radio button. Based on the input, we can do processing. So I'm just explaining how the interfaces can be designed. Hmm? I think the internet speed is slow, therefore it is taking time. Otherwise, it takes. Mhm. I'm having the Windows machine, having only 2 GB RAM. Hence, yeah, this is the drop-down menu. You can collect the data from user using the various controls, using various components like drop-down menu or checkbox or radio button, and this one. This one. So here I am taking the input on the text boxes. Here I have a button called as write. When I click the write button, so this data get added into the one of the file. If I click the read data button, so this is the button. Hmm? So when I click the button, so it will read the data from the file and it will display the data on the same web page. For example, this one. Recently, this is what we have added. So in this example, what we have discussed this one. Okay, just the interface only, not the code. As the interface is simple, similarly, the code is also very simple. We need this kind of. Okay. To design the interfaces like this one in other programming language, it takes a lot of time, but here it takes a very less amount of time. It's very straightforward, and using a single programming language, it becomes very easy for a programmer to work within a single domain. He or she doesn't need to switch from one programming framework to the other programming framework. And we all know that Python is much very popular, not just popular, but it has very a number of modules. Common problems have been solved by the developers. We need not to reinvent the wheel, and all these modules have been proven correct and used by the millions of users. So we can quickly go ahead. Here, I have not written a code. I mean, you can also display graphics as well here. Okay, not just this component. Beside these components, you can also the audio files and video files, and not just the audio files and video file. You can upload Excel-based files, and if you want to have the graph, then the graph can be also be displayed. We can use various Python-based libraries called as Steam, what this matplotlib and seaborn and etc., and the graph can be displayed here. So let me take you to the code. Close that. This session is getting. Now I will show you the code. Let me check whether I am live or not. Yes, okay. I think I am live. So this section has become inactive. Mm, Let me reconnect to the virtual machine. First, you have to import the required modules. Here I have imported modules called as STMLIT, and I am referring this as ST or STL. Then I am importing a Scilab and NumPy. I think I have not used the Scilab, NumPy and NumPy here. Well, yeah, to display the title, you can see here the title method is there, and whatever the title that you want to display, you can specify that in double quote. So let me show you what is that here. So this is the title: STTP on the recent trends in IT. Mm-hmm. So using the title method, and then the slider, you can specify a slider method, and you can specify the message that you want to display, and it will start from the 0 up to 100. And this is the slider you can see here. So this input is very much required for day-to-day life problems. So, and then you can assign this a number selected by the user to the variable called as number. And to display anything on a screen, there is a method called as write. So here is the what I wanted to display. You selected and the variable. So here you can see what you can see here. You selected 48. So input, and then you display the input on the same screen using a write method. Then you want to display the radio button. Radio button can have a number of choices. So if you whatever the number of choices, you can specify those choices in the list item. So PS is the name of variable that is holding the list, and this list has only two items, and you can display what here two this radio buttons, radio button. And what are the selections you have made, you can display this one. I mean, we are collecting the selections. We are collecting the input from the user, because in case you want to do some processing, collecting the input is very much essential. So the variable is holding the a value. Hmm? And to display or to get the file from user, so this file underscore uploader, hmm, this function is required. These functions are inbuilt methods. So you can see here, hmm, and this is assigned to a file, and then you can check whether the file is of 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 correct file extension is there or not by taking or using split functions. Here I'm not doing all these things, but you can get the file using this file underscore uploader. Then you want to display the checkbox. If you have the multiple options appropriate, then you can decide to use the checkbox so that users can select the multiple choices. Uh, in the latter example, the example that I am going to explain, so I have used all this concept to solve a specific problem. Hmm, So to display the checkbox, a simple function is there called as checkbox, and you can use this one. So based on that, tick and untick, selection or unselection, this will display. This will display. For example, here is what this one based on selections, it is doing something. So that is why it is being used with if statement. If it is true, it will display the text. So text is another method to display or to write something on a same screen on interface. So, so to display the radio button, there is another way. Hmm, uh, Using a radio function, and you can specify here the list of all the radio button that you want. Previously we use a list and then we enclose all the atom that we wanted to display as a radio button. So there is another way to display the radio button. So this is the a way. And based on the radio buttons, suppose I mean, here is what you can see, what status you have selected. So let me show you the code here. For example, the second radio button, so what is responding us inactive. Yeah, so it is responding to the input. It is responding to the input. This is how it's very simple. So in fact, what we did here is just a single line of display, nothing else. But you can have the various functions. You can call those functions, and you can do such a long processing or long complex processing by just calling the definitions. If and else. Similar to that, we have a select box as well. For example, this one. What is the select box? So a drop down menu. Drop down menu, you can decide what option you want to display. For example, this one. So you selected these options, businessman. Yeah, it is responding to the client's input. It is responding to the client's input. And then if you want to take the multiple options from users, so there is a one more component called as multi-select. Multi-select, and you just pass use multi-select functions and this message that you want to display and what choices that you want to display. You can enclose all these choices within this round bracket. For example, yeah, this is multi-select. For example, so yeah. So what we are doing, we are collecting the input from the users. Once we have the input from the users, then we can start the processing. So, and to collect the input from the user, we are designing this graphical user interfaces using a Python base, a web frame called as a web framework called as StreamLIT. This is the most popular one for machine learning, deploying the machine learning models and deep learning models. So again, this is a slider. It is responding. Yeah, this is the text box. In case you want to take the input from the user, you can use this text box. And what is the name of this component? You can see here beside the slider. Yeah, text underscore input. Text underscore input. So this will be the message, and yeah, and this will be as a placeholder. Type here. Type here. You can see here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what we're doing here, so we are taking the input from the user, and for example, here is a one simple example. So we are taking the input from the user and writing the data in a file, writing a data in one text file. So here is the method open the file .txt file. So what we want to do, we want to write the data in the file.txt file using this append mode. So the every choice will be sustained there, will be added at the end of the file, and new line. And then what we want to write, we want to write the first name, whatever the name that we have taken, then close. So what I am displaying here, what I am trying to convince you is that how to respond to the button. Hmm? So this is the button. This is called as the right, not right button. This is the name that I have decided to print on the button. So when the buttons are click, what you want to do, you can write the code accordingly, and it will be done as per the statement that you have written. So this is exactly what I did. I have a button called as write, and what I want to do, I want to get the input from the text box which the client has inputted or given, and then I want to write the input in the file, right? So this is exactly what I did. This is what exactly I did using if statement. So if the button is press or if the button is click, so this fourth statement will be executed, and this fourth statement will simply write the data in a text file. So you can see here, for example, um, another test. So here is what button click. Now after I click the button, the data is written in a text file, file.txt file. Whether the file exists there or not, it will automatically be created, and the data will be read and written in the text.file. file. So here another button called as read data. When I click the read button, again a few statements have executed. So you can see the last statement. Hmm. So what we did here, how to respond to the button. How to respond to the button. So this is how very simple. And all the statements are in pure Python. Hmm. So I have some example. So these are not only components, there are few more components. Hmm. These components can be used to display the live graph as well. Okay, and these graphs are very interactive and it takes very few statements to display the graphs. Either you can select the file which is on the Google spreadsheet, or you can upload a file and then click the button and the graphs will be displayed. So what is the benefit of this one? Once you write the entire code, hmm, for a specific problems, thereafter you don't need to modify anything, and once you host the applications, so n number of client can access the applications and they can be get benefited. So in this simple example, we did nothing except displaying the input and output. So I have few example for mhm. I hope I am audible. Excuse me. I have shared the URL with you. Let me see whether you're able to see this or not. Can anyone please try with this URL? Then we'll move to the next example. I think I closed this application, therefore it will not be accessible to you. Let me refresh. Due to slow internet connectivity, it is taking application. Otherwise, it doesn't take this much of time. Yeah. Okay, this application is running. Let me close this application. 1 second, please. I think it is running in the background. So what I'm doing here, one of the applications running, it has occupied the port. So I am trying to stop this application. So it is running in the background. So I just want to stop this application. So I am trying to note the process ID of my application so that I can stop this application here at the end. It might be yeah yeah. वीस 235. So what I did just now, I stopped my application which was running in the background. If I refresh the application, I should not be able to access this one. one of the application is running in the background, so I want it to stop. So I'm trying to find the process ID of that I'm doing. Okay, I now all the applications uh, of the Steam LIT have been closed. Yes. Okay. Applications which was running on the port number 8501 is no longer running. Yes, so this output is clearly showing us. So next example. Hmm. Excuse me. So the command to run another application is this steam lit run, and this name of the file. Okay. This next example is for solving a specific problem. It is running on the port number 8501. So let me refresh the code so that it will display the user interface. And what is application does? These applications ask you to input the so it is user equation. Then how to solve these linear equations using a web application. So this is exactly doing. Hmm? So to solve the linear equations, you need to supply the values of x and y and z and write it handwrited, and write it handwrited, and as well. So assume I mean that's